I've really been looking forward to this day. This is a very important hearing. Dr. Collins, I thank you for coming, and Dr. Hamburg, I thank you for coming, especially because that caused a change in plans. But we don't have two people who know more about what we're talking about than the two of you, and this is an opportunity for us to discuss that. Let me see if I can put this in some sort of context. One of the this is a busy committee. In the last Congress, Senator Harkin used to point out that we completed 25 pieces of legislation which became law. And Senator Murray and I are working well together, and three major items that we intend to focus on in the next 2 years, among all the others, are number one, fixing No Child Left Behind. And we're working well together toward that, hope to have a markup on that after the recess. Second, we're working on simplifying and reauthorizing the federal government supervision of higher education in America. We had a hearing on that recently, and it had an impressive report. Senator Mikulski, Senator Burr, Senator Bennett, and I had asked for about simplifying regulations. And so that will be second. But the third topic is to deal with this exciting new era of medicine that we have and take a look at what we can do as a Congress, working with the President, to reduce the cost and the amount of time it takes to go from discovery of a medicine or a treatment or a medical device and take it all the way through to the medicine cabinet or the doctor's office. Now, we know important work has been done in the Congress on that not so long ago. But we have an opportunity this year to make whatever contribution there is to make, and it's an area that we ought to succeed in because there's not really a political partisanship about this issue. In fact, the House of Representatives is moving on a parallel track on something they call 21st century cures. President Obama is extremely interested in precision medicine. I attended his announcement of that interest at the White House recently, along with Dr. Collins and Dr. Hamburg. I've talked with him about it, and with Secretary Burwell. And suffice it to say that I believe every single member of this committee is interested in identifying what we can do to make it easier to move those drugs, treatments, and devices from discovery all the way through to the medicine cabinet. We're not just talking about moving it through the FDA. Sometimes it takes 2, 4, 6, 10, 12 years to get to the FDA's front door. So we're not just talking about the FDA. We're talking about the whole range of issues there. Dr. Collins has described it this way. He wrote in 2013, drugs exist for only about 250 of the more than 4,400 conditions with defined molecular causes. It takes far too long and far too much money to get a new drug into our medicine cabinets. This is an old problem that cries out for new and creative solutions. Since Dr. Collins wrote that, the number of conditions with defined molecular causes has increased to more than 5,400. The number of new drugs approved has not kept pace with these discoveries. Dr. Hamburg, who is here today, has said that we are left relying on the 20th century approaches for the review, approval, and oversight of the treatments and cures of the 21st century. President Obama, in his announcement of the new Precision Medicine Initiative, said 21st century business will rely on American science, technology, research, and development. I want the country, said the president, that eliminated polio and mapped the human genome to lead a new era of medicine, one that delivers the right treatment at the right time. In some patients with cystic fibrosis, this approach has reversed a disease once thought unstoppable. He introduced at that White House announcement a 27-year-old young man whose cystic fibrosis has been cured because it was one of 4% of the sufferers with that disease caused by a mutated gene for which there is now a drug, and I think the legislation Senator Bennett, Senator Burr worked on may have helped to contribute to that opportunity. So this is a discussion that can affect nearly every American and in which we're going to take very seriously. Senator Burr and I identified a report, issued a white paper that we'd been working on for some time that focused on the issues that we thought the committee ought to identify, and we've submitted that to Senator Murray and to the rest of the members of the committee for their consideration. Costing too much to bring medical products through the discovery process and development process taking too long, whether FDA's responsibilities include unrelated activities to what the focus should be, the disparity in scientific knowledge at the FDA and the fast pace of biomedical innovation. Those are some of the issues that we focused on. But what we hope to learn today from two distinguished leaders of our government is exactly what should we be focusing on. We don't want to waste our time, and we can't do everything. So if this train is moving through the station in the next 12 months, and if our goal is to help get from discovery to the medicine cabinet to the doctor's office, what are the 2 or 3 things that we ought to spend our time on? I believe we can do that working together. We're excited about it. It's a chance for your agencies and the rest of the government to let us help you get the obstacles out of the way that might be in the way of your getting your job done. Some of them relate to money, some don't. Some relate just to the pileup of administrative regulations. At our hearing on higher education, Chancellor Zeppos from Vanderbilt talked about the fact that he hired the Boston Consulting Group to assess the cost of rules and regulations to operate Vanderbilt University for 1 year, and the answer was $150 million, $11,000 on the to every student's tuition at the university. So there are a whole range of things. But I'm looking forward to this. I thank you, Dr. Collins. I thank you, Dr. Hamburg. I'll now turn to Senator Murray, and we'll then turn to the witnesses.